Talk that talk, talk that talk. You know I love to talk that talk. Been like that.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Well, look, so we're all over IG, all over the world here with Miss Kera Dangerous.
Yeah. Oh my God, you pronounced my name correctly.
Well, listen, with a name like Rolonda, I try to do that.
Oh, you're so awesome.
I try to pronounce people's names correctly. It's all we have at the end of the day, right?
That is so correct. So thank you so much for joining me for Kera Dangerous Conversation.
You are so welcome. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm letting you know, I think what I'm doing over here is going live on my Facebook page over here too. So we're bouncing back and forth.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, girl, we're gonna pump you up, get you out there.
I love that. So the first thing I love to do on my show is something I call Give You Your Flowers. So I would like for you, Miss Rolonda, to just sit back and relax for just a second. And I'm going to tell you why I love you.
Oh, now let me sit back for a minute then. Hold on. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. You are so beautiful. You know, I just have to tell you, I have always admired you. I have just always admired you. And over the years, I have never forgotten you. I think, I can't be for sure, but the first time I think I seen you was on your Rolonda talk show. And I just never forgot you throughout the years. It's like you're one of those people that just pop up. Like I'll be watching TV and you'll just guest star on something. And I'm like, that's that lady I love to see. You know?
Like rats and roaches in New York, you can't get rid of me.
Well, I wouldn't compare you to a rat or a roach, but you do pop up. And one of the things that I love about you is your personality. It's just bigger than outdoors. And you just come off so sweet, so classy. You're the type of woman I feel like my aunts talked to me about, like when they told me how to be a woman. Like you're just a classy lady. You stand for something. You're so well spoken. I mean, you're just a beautiful person to me. And you know, you've done so many things. That's why I wanted you on my show, because I feel like you're one of those people that don't get enough attention. And I feel like this new generation needs to know who Rolonda is. You paved the way for so many people, especially Black women in the industry. And that's really what I'm trying to put the spotlight on, is those forgotten people. Not to say people don't know who you are, but I feel like your light should be a lot bigger than what it is. And that's just my personal opinion. And you just always meant a lot to me. I just started thinking about when I first saw you, like on Sister, and you would come on, and all the characters you would play would always have this great personality, spunky attitude. And I was like, that lady's got to be cool in person. That lady's got to be cool in person.
I played some characters.
Yes, you have.
But Karen, you know what you also telling me is that was when you knew me. You were a little girl. And before that, you didn't know I was an investigative news reporter covering mobs and mayhem and murder in New York City. And I was a talk show host and a producer. I've done so many different things even before you were born. But that just means so much to me to hear you say that and to know that I have touched your life. That means the world to me. And you know, to be a new generation, you know, being the voice of Professor Wiseman on Curious George, well, my audience is 1 to 101 now. So it's like I've got my sister crowd, I've got my talk show crowd, my news crowd, my acting crowd, my podcast crowd. But as long as we're all together and we seem to always find each other, that's the main thing. And I just am so honored to be here on your show, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I wanted to know, because also I'm so happy whenever I hear you talk, because you have that country little twang I have also. I know you a North Carolina girl, and I just want to know, because you have your hands in so many things in the entertainment business. Take us back to that young girl in North Carolina and how you were able to find your passions and start working on them, creating them to be the person you are now.
Well, you know what? I was laughing because I was doing an interview today, and I remembered, I'm really known for being a reinventionist right now, and which is so important. And people are asking me, how do you do it? Because now everybody needs to know how to pivot and reinvent. And, a lot of times I did it because I wanted to, and a lot of times I did it because I had to. Mm-hmm. But I think that the main thing is always being true to yourself and what makes you happy. When you're happy, the money comes. When you're happy, that's what, doing things that make your heart soar. It's hard to not hear what mom and them said. It's hard to hear what society says. But I think right now we're at an opportunity, even in this horrific time of COVID. And when the rug has been pulled out from under us, we're in a wonderful opportunity to really redefine or reinvent ourselves. And a lot of the answers are going to come from who you are authentically and what you really, really, really want to do, no matter what. Mm-hmm. Are you going to have to work hard? Yeah. Are there going to be nights you're going to wonder where the next check is coming from? Oh, hell yeah. Are you going to, are you going to have to like strategize and get a mindset like Kobe did when all odds were against him, like Lisa Leslie did? Are you going to be that person like Obama did? Are you going to be that mindset? Yeah, if you want to survive. But now is the time. So I think that in terms of being a reinventionist or an artist or just doing whatever it is that makes you come to the table and know why. Those are the things you need to be exploring right now. And I think that'll take you in some marvelous places that you never even thought about.
Now you've always been so well put together when I look at you. You ever had those moments where, you fell down or maybe something didn't go right for you and you just had to give your own self a boost?
Okay, Kara, can I tell you the truth?
Yes.
I have been, when COVID first hit and I had to keep my business going and I had to do like business meetings on the webinar.
Yes.
Girl, there were times I couldn't find my wig. I couldn't find my wig. I couldn't go on TV. There's a TV now. I couldn't go on there with my hair all over my head the way it was in COVID. I went online. I saw those little ads on Facebook.
Yes, ma'am.
I got me one of these little ponytails under $100. I can throw it on, whip it on. Look, the next interview, I'm going to take it down and have a cascading blonde down my shoulder. This little blouse, look, $7.50 from Ross.
I'm loud.
I got my pajama bottoms on and some flip-flops.
What?
That's the new. Is that the new norm? All you look at this. Look at this outfit. All you need is some structure and some color. Come on, girls.
My mom said it doesn't matter how much something costs. It's how you wear it.
Look at this. It's got the little stuff, so I don't need a lot of jewelry. A little bow.
I like it.
Look at it. Come on now.
You go, girl.
Little arms at 61. I still got arms. Okay. And it's just a great color. This was $7.50. $7.99. It wasn't $8 from Ross.
Look, I wasn't expecting to ask you this, but since you kind of brought it up, your birthday was last month, right?
July 12th, my birthday.
Okay. Are you aware that a lot of people find you attractive? You are a beautiful woman. Do you feel attractive? Like, do you feel as beautiful as we think you are?
Yeah, I really do. If you're sexy and you know it, clap your hands.
Okay. Look, okay. I'm not mad at you.
You know you want to be a hot auntie one day.
I do.
Yeah, I'm sexy. I know I'm sexy.
Oh, man, you are a trip.
I don't take care of all this to just show up regular. Y'all better start eating right, looking cute during COVID. You never know what might come out after this cloud. Listen to Auntie. Be cute. Because look, come on, face it. All right. I will admit, I was on the dating sites. I was having a good time because Auntie was moving to New York, and I had my situations over there, situations, we grown. Y'all don't think your aunties and mommies are doing things, but we are, okay?
Mama, you
Kara, dangerous. Didn't you say you had dangerous conversations?
Yes.
You should see your face, Kara. You're like, Auntie.
No, I'm loving what you bring, and but you said
this is real talk. Now listen, you gotta stay sexy. You gotta keep it going. So listen, we have dating sites for our age group, the sexy silvers. We still frisky over 50, still sexy after 60.
I love that.
Look, honey, listen, we still got it going on. But I've been waiting around for Mr. Right for so long, Kara. I think I've become the man I wanted to marry. I don't know when it's gonna happen.
That's what I want to know. And I have to give you a little shout out. One of my lawyer friends in New York, she wanted me to tell you thank you for dating back in the day, Al Be Sure. She said that's a plus for all Black women if you were able to date the fine, sexy Al Be Sure. And his son is just as sexy as he is. But oh God.
Well, listen, back in the day, that made some of the biggest news. And I tell you, Al B is such a wonderful gentleman. He is everything that y'all dreamed that he is. He really is a sweetheart. And I think you can go on YouTube and put in Rolonda, Rolonda, and Al Be Sure. And I think you'll see him when he was on my show, girl. Ooh,
I saw it.
Back in the day, he was just, but listen, they didn't have words like cougars back then. This is the early 90s. And I was a cougar. He was like 10 years younger than me. I was like, you're too young. I got blouses older than you.
Would you do that again? Would you date somebody else?
No, I would take him in a minute.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No, you know something? I don't think the cougar thing always for men. Men have always had, younger women. And that's never been a big deal. But when women started coming along, and that was an era when in the 90s, women were really starting to come up on our own. We owned our own houses. We owned our own cars. Mm-hmm. We had our own jobs. The 70s and 80s, it paid off for us 90s women who were CEOs. That's when we became chief executive officers of our own companies, There were like 10 of us, but we were still doing it, right? Yeah. So that was an exciting time. And I don't know. I forgot the track I was trying to say, but that was an exciting time of being a strong woman. But also, that was before the dating sites. That was before, so there was a whole different world back then.
Do you like how it is now? Because even though I'm young, I'm in my 30s, but I don't like the dating sites and whatnot. I'm more of a traditionalist. I mean, how do you feel about the dating scene?
Well, I think it makes you kind of zero in on what it is you really want. I think anything in life is really what you really, really want. I think you can manifest anything. I think I've had a wonderful life, really half the time, because I believed and was daring enough to go out and believe I could actually make it happen. And see, when I got in the television business, in the news business at that, there were 3 television stations. There was no MTV, BET, ESPN, no Google, no YouTube, no. What the hell? There were 3 TV stations: ABC, NBC, CBS. Yes. Period. That was it.
Now I'm sure, like on the Rolonda show, you had this topic, but why do you think it's so hard for a successful, beautiful woman like you to find a good man, or do you not look at it like that?
You know what? When I was 30, like you, I was like, they're out there, and then I was like, no, they're not.
Right. And
You know, but that was in my 40s. And in my 50s, I was like, you know what? Whether they're out there or not, it's not about them being out there. It's about me being so fucking sexy. Excuse my French.
That's
so
nice.
fucking sexy and so cool
Yes.
and so good with myself.
Yeah.
That I'm going to attract so much that I'll have choices. I don't have to do anything.
You know,
I think after a while you stop, you know, you can't judge what's going on out there. You have to be the person that's going to attract the best thing for you. You just need to be the person that's going to say that whenever this situation shows up, first of all, I got to believe it's going to show up. Number two, I got to visualize it showing up. And number three, when it does, I need to be the right person it showed up for.
bam.
Boom. That part. Hashtag that part. Right?
You know,
I be the right person that thing I manifested showed up for. God forbid he show up and I'm in curly.
I've been single for years, and one thing that I have learned and my mom has stressed to me, and I'm sure you would agree, there's a big difference between alone and lonely.
Oh yeah. You know what? I have been happily single, and I have been. I mean, listen, there aren't times when you go to the nice event and you love the handsome, gorgeous person next to you. You know, come on. Or you're cuddle up watching Netflix, binging in the middle of COVID. You would like a little cuddle buddy. I mean, you know, that moment.
Yes,
But for
ma'am.
the most part, life is good having your own decisions and making your own decisions. And it gives you an opportunity to decide not only, you know, when we have those bad experiences, what we don't want. Let's don't get stuck in the negativity. But those things that cause us caustic and friction in life, those are just opportunities for us to say, you know what, this is what I really want. You know, and don't get into the, I don't want that, I don't want, because you're going to draw more of that to you. Just say, you know what, I had been there, done that. This is what I want instead. So start using resistance and things, because we're at a time now where everything is about reinvention. You know, you're going to have to reinvent a lot of things because of everything that's going to change. So be prepared for change and embrace it. Invite it to the table and serve it a beer, because it's coming. Might as well make friends with it. So what are you going to do about that? What is your story going to be when you walk out from under this COVID cloud? We've had so many marvelous, magnificent, momentous things full of velocity happen in this time of so-called lockdown. Look at a movement that was waiting to happen, and it happened on lockdown. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Look at the things that are happening when nobody's leaving the house. And if they do, they can't see each other smile. Things are still happening. So what part of that positive movement? People are signing up to vote. What will we each do in our own world to make things better and use our gifts and help the reinvention process along? You know, whether it's for our country, our businesses, our families, our children. Woo, child, we got a lot to do. Our schools. There's a lot going on. But, you know, these are exciting times. What will you do with all that is new? That's my question to you.
Oh, you got a lot in there. You got some.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. That's what great aunties do. Come on. Your age, I've lived twice. Ain't that some stuff?
Yeah, you've done a lot of things.
Look, I told my girlfriend, look, Niecy, I told my girlfriend, I said, girl, I said, this ain't my first time to the rodeo, but I'm trying stand-up comedy now and writing books and podcasts and streaming and YouTubing and TikToking and stuff. I said, look at all the stuff I'm doing in my middle age. She said, middle age? How many people you know 122 years old?
You know, you have done so much that I can see how you feel that way. But like you said, you've done it with such grace.
Look, baby, that's just the truth. You just do the best you can with it all. And that's what we do. You know, we are so blessed to wake up in the morning and have so many things to be grateful for. My auntie was Dr. Maya Angelou, who endorsed my book, Destiny Lingers. And she wasn't my blood family, but you know, down south, I grew up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And down south, you don't call grown people by their first name. That's auntie or uncle or Mr. or Mrs. or doctor or something. And so Auntie Maya Angelou was a dear, close family friend of mine, my family for, 30-something years, 35 years.
Wow.
And so I was a young girl growing up with her, and she inspired me in so many ways to lift my voice, to be proud of having a deep voice that didn't really sound like a girl, and was going to be challenged because it was so authoritative. And now today, I think I'm a broadcaster and I'm a voice actor. Then I think about how she used her voice. Even if you didn't know what she was saying, you heard her, you know? And then look at the things that she did. Look, she talked about reinventing. She was a civil rights activist. She was a novelist, writer, teacher, director. And that wasn't until she was 76 years old. Do you know that she didn't write I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings until she was in her 50s?
Wow.
She was a dancer, a calypso dancer. She was she was so many. Look, she was a little gangster too. You know, Auntie had a little gangster in her.
We have with all Black women, I feel like.
Look, come on.
We have it. We ready.
Look, I saw the funniest meme the other day. It had we call Auntie Maxine out here in California, Maxine Waters. And it had her picture. She was like, and it had some girls are sugar and spice. And then it said, and some girls are from the hood and with a wood.
Okay. Look, you got to have that.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, there's so many different places that we can look for. There's just so many places that you can grasp, just not on the living earth to entrust your faith in.
I love the fact that you're one of those people that pull on the strength of your ancestors, is what I like to call it, because they went through so much. And whenever I would go through something in my career that I thought was challenging or difficult, I said, Kera, this is nothing compared to what those people before me have gone through.
What you talking about? Unbelievable. I mean, how can you know, one of the things I was really fortunate to be able to do, being a journalist, was get to go to a lot of situations that you normally wouldn't get to see. We got called down to Florida, to the Florida Keys, because they had discovered some of the remains of the Harriet Michelle, which was a slave ship. And there wasn't much left of it, except what was amazing to me, a vessel with beans. It's amazing how long beans last, y'all. Beans were still in the freaking vessel. But they also had found shackles. And I don't know if those shackles were of children or women, but I went to the museum and I saw, it was the first time I'd seen a human shackle. And I said, can I put it on my ankle? And there was something about that transfer of energy. It was like when I went to Bahia in Brazil, the first stop of the slave trade, and went to the trade center where they're still selling T-shirts and beads and jewelry, but down there in the basement was where they sold human beings, slaves. And you felt something. I felt something when I went to the church. I cried. When I went to South Africa, and the women who were serving me dinner, all of a sudden, I cried.
I always wonder how
question your ancestors are there for you. And if you travel more and you open your mind more and you study your own history more, don't buy this country's history of you. Good God Almighty. I'm so glad I went to Spelman College.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. Both of your parents were in education. So how did that affect your life to become the person you are today?
Well, I come from a history of teachers and educators and doctors and lawyers. My parents, my mother was, oh my God, my mother has 2 master's degrees and a PhD from Duke University. Wow. She started out in early childhood education. She now still has an endowment at Wake Forest University in her name. She was an associate dean at the Bowman and Gray School of Medicine, which Gray's Anatomy is modeled after. And she was very influential. My dad was chairman of the Fine Arts Department at Winston-Salem State University. He's a fine artist, a woodcutter, and yeah. And then I had a great grandfather who was one of the founders of Bennett College. Helped found it in the basement of his church. And, you know, of course, Bennett College was an all-women's Black university, historically Black university down in Greensboro, North Carolina. I went to Spelman College. So, you know, education has always been a big deal for me. I don't care what you say. There's people who are like, you know, you don't get a college education. And I don't necessarily think that you can't survive if you don't have one. But I'm going to tell you, you walk a different way when you do. Yes. And I think that if those historically Black colleges had not been in my life, I may not walk the way, I may not be the Rolonda you know today. You know, so many of us have been thrown into white situations because, quite honestly, the education is better, the housing is better. But my parents were like, okay, you're 18, you live in a white neighborhood, you've gone to all white schools, it's time for you to know some Black people. And I'm going to tell you that experience was magnificent for me. And, you know, nobody was going to teach me that the first open heart surgery was done by Black folks, or, you know, that the nation's capital streets were laid out by a Black man named Benjamin Banneker. And, you know, they weren't going to teach me about, you know, Baldwin and Dunbar and Hughes. Those are things that we are going to have to be responsible for. And now those friends that I knew back in the day that didn't get my education, my white friends need to know about Langston Hughes and James Baldwin and Paul Laurence Dunbar as well. So I think we're in an education curve right now. So those of you who believe in school, don't let nobody tell you that school is not important. I know it's going to cost you money. I know it's going to be, I don't know what to say about all that. But I know that there are people out there who support people in school. And we love students and people support where they can, when they can, how they can, and you can find the help out there. If that is your determination. Do not let anybody take a dream of education from you, because the worst thing that could happen is you don't do it and you sit on the porch one day going, I coulda, shoulda, woulda, had an education. If I'd have just done one little thing right now, you want to live with that? Life isn't always about the choices we make. Life is also about the choices we don't make. I don't know about you. I wouldn't want to live with that. I'm just saying. That's just Auntie Rose. That's just me.
No, I agree. I always tell the viewers here that it's important that, especially in this time, we self-educate. This is the perfect time to find something extra that you're passionate about, to read different books, to learn more about our history. I mean, you should really be using this time wisely, especially if you're one of those people that don't have to work as often as you normally would have to work. So,
right. But it's also, you know, like, I'm really excited because you know, I'm all about reinventing, and I had to do this reinvent. In fact, y'all, come on out tomorrow. Listen to me like I own a club. I look like Auntie Rose. Come on out to Auntie Rose Club.
Go ahead.
Y'all come on out to Shade Road tomorrow night.
Look, plug it.
Look, I'm having Rolonda's Reinvention Retreat Happy Hour.
Yes. Where can they go to join?
Well, thank God it's Friday. Go to my Facebook page at Rolonda Watts. Even on IG or Twitter, you can find all the flyers. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock, our time, Pacific, we're going to party. And we're going to celebrate people who have reinvented themselves brilliantly, who I call my reinventionists. We're going to celebrate 3 women tomorrow. Check this out. Check this out, Niecy. These 3 women said they were not going to let COVID-19 get up in their system. They were not having it. They were not going to let their gifts get stopped. And they were going to use the bond that they had for each other and support each other. They were going to create a little think tank group and pull out the best qualities of each other and hold each other accountable. They said, honey, it's time to start whining. They created a wine business. These 3 women created a wine business. And tomorrow on my Facebook page, we're going to go IG Live, Facebook Live. I'm trying to learn how to set it all up. Okay. But we're going to celebrate, and everybody come, and we're going to have a happy hour. But I want to hear their story. These are the stories I like to hear right now. People really reinventing themselves and coming up with new ideas. How did they do it? You know, I just talked to on Rolonda On Demand, my podcast. I like to talk to people. I just talked to these 2 major actors who came up with this whole new thing they just sold on Amazon Prime. I'm like, how do you pick something during COVID? I want to know right now. So those are the kind of stories I'm going after, and I encourage y'all to follow them because, honey, there's some enlightening stuff that we can really do and take control of ourselves, our lives, our creativity, and our education right now.
You guys make sure you join. I saw a couple of people in the comments saying they want to go, so they can go.
Go on my Facebook page. Listen, you know they made me a flyer.
Yes. You have a website they can sign up on too.
Yeah, listen, look. This is what we do. If you want to keep up with the Reinventionists, that's my group. We call us the Reinventionists. And it's Rolonda's Reinvention Retreat. Just go to Rolonda.com, ROLONDA.com. And go check out and sign up there. Leave me your email. So basically, every time I'm doing something crazy, like I just might meet somebody and go, come on, we're going to do a Reinvention live shot. You want to know we're doing it so I can let you know. Now, let me tell you this too. What has really come out of this, I don't know, maybe because I have a lot of actors in the group, a lot of people in the entertainment industry. My voiceover, I call it Rolonda's Voice Acting Masterclass, has just blown up. I just graduated my class this week and we were having so much fun. I can't stop. I threw in another week. But we're going to start up again in the fall. And if you've ever dreamed of being a voice actor or just want to try something new, find a new way to use your voice, it certainly helped me in a time of reinvention. Remember I was a talk show host who came out to Hollywood. There was a big strike. I had to find something new to do. Sometimes you're thrown up against the wall. Sometimes life throws you a curveball and you got to either catch it or hit the sucker out the park.
I want to do that. How did you get involved in the voiceover business?
Well, it's really crazy because, I guess you might say that with my COVID back in the day. I had left my talk show, the whole talk show scene in New York. It had become a place where people were throwing chairs and disrespecting Black people. And I was like, you know what? I've done this for 4 years. I'm going to go tell stories in a different way and come to Hollywood. So I had come out here to live my dream come true, to finally be that actor, that theater arts major person from Spelman. And I got out here and there was a strike. And I ended up going from being the host of an international syndicated talk show to serving pizza on a picket line to my union members. It was the longest strike in Hollywood history. We were unemployed for 9 months. It was our COVID at the time. And I remember saying, what am I going to do? I got a house, I got a car, I got a bill. What am I going to do? And I remember I said, the craziest thing, back then you called 411 when you need the information, you needed a number for someplace. And I would call 411 an operator and I'd say, can I please get the number for whatever I was. And she'd say, is this Rolonda?
Wow.
And I said, yeah, it's Rolonda. She said, the Rolonda. I said, yeah, girl, it's the Rolonda. So my voice, everybody knew my voice. I said, well, maybe I can do something with my voice. I tried and tried, couldn't get arrested. Finally, I took a workshop. I understood how the business worked. I read some books. I followed some mentors. I started really studying this thing, and I said, you know what? This thing is not going to crack me. I know there's something here. And that is when, after I took my workshop, it changed my life. Today, you hear my voice. I'm Professor Wiseman on Curious George, which I've been for 2 decades. My audience is now 1 to 101. We're the #1 animated show for children. Also in animation, I do Legos, Madagascar. Gosh, there's so much. I work with Tyler Perry on Medea's Tough Love. I play the evil mayor, Betsy Holiday. I'm the voice of Divorce Court and Judge Joe Brown and Bowen, Tropicana, Wells Fargo, Kaiser Permanente. You hear my voice. My voice works more than me sometimes. Well,
I don't even know if people know they're hearing you all the time. Like you're literally everywhere.
Yeah. So while I'm over there doing those wacky characters you grew up on, you can also hear me. So those are 2 different actors in me. You know, that's called multiple streams of income.
Oh, can I borrow $5?
You can have a loan with interest.
Dang. It's like that.
Listen, you're the young one. I got to come to you for a loan. But you know what? It's been, I think the greatest thing in the world is when you find things within yourself. Just don't do one thing in life. Do all those things in life. I mean, back in the day, I remember my mother told me, she said, when you go ask for a job and you talking to that man across the desk, because back then you only talk to a white man to get a job. And she said, and he asked you, well, what can you do? She said, I want you to look him square in the jaw and say, sir, I can save your time by telling you what I can't do. And when she told me that, I used to think it was the funniest thing, but I must have adhered to that creed, because quite honestly, there's really nothing I can't do. I choose not to sing and dance, but trust and believe, if you threw me out on that stage, I bet I'd swim.
Let me ask you a question. Is there really nothing you can't do, or is that just how strong your faith is?
Let me tell you something. One time I got up and I sang, and I said to my girlfriend, I said, Hopi, you know I ain't no singer. These people have put me up here because I'm Rolonda Watts. And she said, girl, and she looked at me, she said, you go out there and you give a theatrical performance. Girl, I went out there and tore that stage up. Now, was I Whitney Houston? Hell no. Was I Aretha? Heck, nobody. But I was Rolonda, and I sold that song. So I can belt. You know, sometimes, as we used to say when we would do a talk show, there's 30 topics. What else can you do in a talk show? There's 30 freaking topics. But what is memorable is when you make them yours. As we used to say on my show, you Rolonda-ize them, like you Kera Dangerous them. So it's only one conversation that can happen. You're like the snowflake. There's no other voice like yours. There's no other presence like yours. No other fingerprint like yours. So really take advantage of what you thought was a flaw, which is actually your greatest gift.
I wanted to ask you more about the voiceovering and how you feel about the white voiceover actors saying that they want to respectfully stop voicing Black characters because they feel like those roles should now go to Black actors. What do you feel about that? Do you think it's necessary?
I thought that was a very generous thing to do. I thought that was a nice thing to do. I will admit that back in the day when they first hired the guy to play Cleveland, I was like, but then they hired Sanaa to be the wife, so I was like, well, we got half of it. So it's like, you know, back then, you know, you take. But it was weird. But then again, you know, let me be really honest with you. I mean, their characters I play. Well, I play Legos, so my character is yellow. But does that mean I can't play the character anymore? I mean, these are things. I mean, how far do we go with that?
Yeah, that's
but I think in a situation where the whole character is a Black family, and the main character is a Black man. Yeah, I think that would be, under these circumstances, the right thing to do. And I think they did a good job. I think they got Pierce. What's my man's name? Will Pierce. They got. Well,
I wasn't sure who they got replaced. I have to be honest. When it came to Cleveland, I was kind of like, we don't got used to Cleveland. We love the guy who does this voice. I just felt like, and I don't know the voiceover world. I don't know how many Black people are in that world. Maybe you could tell us. But I just felt like that's not. I'm like, well, we asking for more than just that. I'm like, why would they change out the Cleveland voice? But maybe I'm wrong.
You know, it's like, you know, the voiceover world and the performance world, in i.e. Hollywood, mirrors what we've seen all along, that there have to be changes along. And I think that's happening more and more. I think it's, you know, Hollywood and acting in studios are a business like any other business. And a lot of businesses woke up recently in the past couple of months and said, oh my God, I had no idea we were so lily white. And we you know, we do need to make changes, and this is unnecessary, and this is the way we were thinking. So you got to give things a chance to adjust. And, you know, like what good actors do, we make the adjustment. Let's see what the adjustment is. But I think that's a good start. You know, I also would like to see more of us involved in animation, and more of us involved in areas where maybe we weren't involved, or maybe we didn't believe we could be, and that was the problem. So I think there's, you know, there's give and pull on both sides, but I think there's a lot of self-awareness among Black people who need to take advantage of opportunities and stop being so scared to take a risk.
Now, normally I boast about this, but around you, I kind of feel like I should just be quiet. But I'm like, oh, I've been in the television business for over a decade, and I'm like, woo,
Woo!
but,
Woo! Woo! And I want a pony.
Look now, it's nothing compared to.
Wait a minute. A whole decade?
Well, it's been more than a decade, but I normally think about that.
Hey kid, when you get 4 under your belt, call me.
Right. Oh man.
Go on, boo-boo. Go on.
Oh, my point is that, like, I'm so surprised, like, and I'm not gonna say too much because, well, I'm just not gonna say too much, but I'm just surprised that companies say, like, they didn't notice that they needed more diversity, because, like, all you gotta do is look. Like,
yeah, well, that's the point, and I think that's the boomerang effect. That the point is that you haven't looked clearly in 20 years. Your business has been up there 30 years. Hey guys, I'm trying to see if people were on my Facebook page. Hey, I'm on IG Live and Facebook, so forgive me. But yeah, I think that it's a lot of self reckoning and a lot of self-awareness. And not only does your office space not represent or reflect the diversity you claim you stand by, but your board is totally not with that either. And what does that say? Nobody's saying it says anything about you, but except that you are not embracing diversity. And you have to ask yourself, why not? And we have to continue to show up and show up right. And businesses have to understand that diversity in businesses, it's been proven, it's a numbers game. Your business is sure to be at least 20 to 24% more productive in revenue if you are diverse versus monolithic companies. You know, millennials, you know more about millennials probably than I do, but one thing I know about millennials is I work with Google and I work with all of them, and that's through my voice work. Y'all not having it unless you see diversity. And still in those areas, I mean, even some of the major hippest Google, Facebook, social media are looking at themselves as well. We tend to hire who we know, so maybe you need to know different people. You know, maybe part of this starts at home. How many times are your kids having play dates with people who don't look like the people at the dinner table?
Those people.
So I think that diversity, inclusion, and belonging. I mean, you know, do you know transgender people? Do you no binary people. I mean, you know, it's a new world, but this is something that we're everybody's on a learning curve. And when people ask you questions trying to learn, be a teacher. Be proud. You know, you talked about my family coming from educators. Be proud to use these moments that when you're uncomfortable as educable moments. Don't have knee-jerk reactions. Of course people are going to ask stupid questions. Of course they're going to touch your hair. Of course they're going to like ask if you get a tan. Don't make a big deal out of it. And laugh about it. Find some humor. But have the tough questions. Go on Rolonda On Demand and listen to some of my podcasts. That's the stuff we're talking about right now. How to have the tough conversations about race, even within your own family, especially if you're white. You know, white people don't talk about race. Y'all got to talk about it. We talk about it all the time. White people need to talk about it.
Rolonda, I was with you until you said the thing about hair. Don't touch our hair. Do not touch our hair.
Don't listen. Those are like truisms. And there's wonderful things happening. You know, people are really, I mean, you know, that's just like, they're like, I didn't know I was doing anything. I just thought it was just so interesting. It's like, okay.
No.
Don't chop her hand off. Have a conversation.
We gonna have a conversation, all right.
Well, let me tell you something, my niecey. I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with you.
Thank you.
I thank you so much for including me in the dialogue. And you keep on keeping on with this great work that you're doing. I'm very, very, very proud of you.
I appreciate it. Before you go, I gotta ask you one question though.
All right.
Would you invite me to one of your parties? If you had a party, do you think I'm cool enough to be a guest at Rolonda's party?
Yeah, I'm having a party tomorrow night you're invited to.
Okay.
And I want you to come on into that party, bring your drink, and I want you to bring your slew of friends. That's how cool I think you are. We are doing Rolonda's Reinvention Retreat Happy Hour tomorrow, where we celebrate reinventionists, the art of reinventing yourself, your business, your life, your way of thinking. And 3 women who said, coronavirus, it's time to start whining.
What time
again?
again?
We created a wine business, y'all, right in the middle of a pandemic. We're going to learn how to get that mindset. And I want you to come to the party, girl. Bring your drink because we're going to be whining tomorrow. Everybody says, stop your whining. I said, it's time to start whining. And we're going to learn how to reinvent, start a new business at home, get tips, get great advice, get inspiration. When you hear people talking about positive things and ways that they accomplished it, I want you to bring a notebook. I know we having a happy hour party, but always bring a notebook to my free webinars because people are going to be dropping some science.
Okay.
You know, we're going to learn strategies. What's your mindset? What's your Mamba mindset? What's your Lisa Leslie mindset that got you through? What do you tell yourself? Take some notes. But come on tomorrow, baby. You have a VIP invitation to the party.
So,
and we start tomorrow, 6 o'clock Pacific time. We're going live on Facebook. I'm going to learn how to do it, hopefully on IG. I got young people working with me. But we're going to definitely be on my Facebook page. You hear that, Facebook people?
Check Kera Dangerous, YouTube, Kera Dangerous.
That's right. And Kera Dangerous, come on over there so I can tell you thank you and brag about you and call you out a little bit. But that would be fun. But honey, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I thank everybody. Follow me at Rolonda Watts on all forms of social media, even TikTok. Okay. Girl, look, they did a ponytail and gave me some baby hair. I got 445,000 hits on TikTok doing baby hair.
Dang.
Go check it out.
I will for sure. You be blessed.
Auntie gone viral. Love you, baby. Thank you so much.
You welcome.
Bye-bye. See you guys.